Saludos and salutations, Broncos country, and welcome back into another episode of Broncos Talk. Ladies and gentlemen, do we have a banger? B-A-N-G-A-R, I can't spell, banger for you guys today. We have the results of the second game against the Las Vegas Raiders. Plus, we are going to give you all the up-to-date news and our thoughts about the big upcoming game against those pesky Green Bay Packers. And of course, the return of over at Broncos Talk. It's not technically a return. I just say return because it's embedded in my brain, but we do it every single time. But it kind of feels like a return because we always keep going to it. I know somebody asked me that the other day, like, why do I keep saying the return when it's not the return? Because we do it every show. But it doesn't really matter because the beautiful thing about this show is that Johnny lets us do whatever we want, except we can't do two things that I can't say on the air. But if we don't do them and you pay attention, then you know what they are. But ladies and gentlemen, please make sure your food is warm, your beer is cold, and that you're comfortable as hell because you are not going to want to miss a single part of today's show. And with that said, get ready, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen, because here we go. And welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Adan Diaz, and joining me to my left or right, depending on which direction you're watching, is my co-host, the man, the legend, my best friend, El Bronco Libre.
What's happening, Broncos country? What a fantastic weekend that we had. Can't wait to go over what happened and what's going to happen this upcoming weekend. Let's go. How you doing, Vato Loco?
I'm doing okay. And by the way, because I also had somebody ask me, the intro that you guys just saw and that you see at the beginning of every single episode is going to be the intro for us going forward. I personally think it's fantastic. Johnny Baki did a fantastic job coming up with it. It is one of the original intro shows that Johnny did when, I don't want to say when the network relaunched, but when he started to expand the network. So when he added this show, and all the other shows that you guys have seen here on Orange and Blue Network, those are all Johnny Baki inventions, especially the Viva Los Broncos ones, the way he incorporated Bronco Libre, all the videos from, different NFL sites and whatever, and then my really nasty dubbing at the end of that. That's all Johnny Baki, but I personally love the intro to our show because we have cheerleaders, we have Miles, we have people just having a good time. And that's what we love to do here at Broncos Talk. Yes, you are going to hear Libre and I sometimes bitch and complain, sorry, pardon my French, when the Broncos lose or when they're not playing to their to the upscale that we expect them to. And that's perfectly normal. But so far, we have been on a fantastic winning streak, Libre. And I am so jealous that Libre has been there every step of the way except for the Colts game. He wasn't there for that. Me and Johnny were. And I was just telling Bronco Libre before the show that Johnny, if you're listening, whatever it is that we do every Sunday, we have to keep it going because it's generating good luck for the team. So keep doing the same thing you're doing until the streak ends because I believe in that type of luck. So it's working. So I don't know what it is that you do on Sundays, Libre, when you're not on home game, but I implore you to do the same thing as well.
But for me, though, like I do so many different things. It's either one, I'm watching the game here at my house, or I'm at a watch party, or just like in the scenario like this last weekend, they had a watch party at Mile High Stadium for season ticket holders. So it just really depends on the feel, what's going on. It's really the vibe that's happening here in the Mile High City, what I'm doing.
Do you wear your jersey on game days like I do?
I do. Well, I don't wear per se a jersey, but I'm wearing Bronco stuff. But when
Mhm.
I am out and about, like doing like these watch parties or doing some type of event like that's related with the Broncos, tengo mi máscara. I always have to mask up. Just like how John Cena says, "You can't see me."
I don't know why. Wasn't there somebody that asked you, like, "Do you sleep with the mask on?"
Yeah, there was a. I think in one of our on Viva los Broncos, somebody
Yeah,
was asking me that. Yeah.
like, you never take it off.
I only take it off when I shower, but I have to do it in the dark so nobody has an opportunity to take a quick peek. And then as soon as I'm out of the shower, I wash and put it on right away.
Somebody snaps a picture through your window. Oh,
Hey,
man.
that's okay. Voyeurism, it's a real thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your first time here. Welcome. If not, welcome back. Before we keep going with all the silliness and craziness that is what we provide for you guys here on the network, Libre and I just want to get a couple of things out of the way like we do before the start of every single show. So please bear with us as we ask you to please show your support for us here on the Orange and Blue Network. If you could subscribe, share, comment, like this video or any of the other videos that you see on this network, ladies and gentlemen, the entertainment value that the guys here provide for you is second to none. All right. It's non scripted. We don't rehearse any of the stuff you see. It is literally content from real Broncos fans. And that's exactly why I love being here. It's why Libre loves being here. It's why Johnny puts up with all the crap that we do here because it is 100% authentic and we will always keep it 100% authentic with you guys as with our fans because without you, Libre and I are just sitting here talking to ourselves for how long are we on the air for? Like an hour and a half. So thank you guys so much for being here with us through all the crazy and silliness. For our audio listeners, regardless of what platform you're listening us to, please, 5-star reviews are always welcome. If you would like to send us that review, screenshot it, send it to our Twitter handles there on the bottom. Libre and I will personally give you a shout out here on the show. Our Twitter handles are mine is at a 6'10" Mexican. Bronco Libre is at Bronco Libre 5218. Ladies and gentlemen, in case you didn't know, we are sponsored by W. And if you don't know what W is, well, let me tell you, it's basically got no sugar, no calories, no maltodextrin, no fillers, and no artificial colors. It's formulated with nothing but amino acids, B vitamins, and nootropics, including the panded neurofactor nootropic and the caffeine, which is derived directly from the coffee fruit. And just to show you how awesome they are, they want to hook you guys up when you use the code OBN10 to get 10% off your order at checkout. Again, that code is OBN10 to get your 10% off your order at checkout with all of your favorite W flavors and products. Shout out to W for being a continued sponsor of this and all the shows here on the network, and for the guys over at the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast for hooking us up with this amazing offer. Also, ladies and gentlemen, just so you guys know, we are getting towards the end of the season. We are just about a month's time away from being at the end of the regular season, and then the playoffs will ensue, which Bronco Libre.
Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs?
Yeah, we're talking about playoffs, and it's somewhere where the Broncos are definitely going to be, especially after we talk about this week's upcoming matchup. But we got the show schedule for you. That's going to be the schedule going forward. Again, the times that I'm going to repeat to you about all the other shows are in Mountain Time, so please keep that in mind as you hear me say them. On Mondays and Fridays at 11 a.m., we have the Orange and Blue Blitz. On Monday, we have the Broncos Bros, because if you even Broncos Bro, like Mondays at 7.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, bro. And then on Tuesdays at 7:30, we have the flagship show, which is a Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast. On Wednesday, for all of you guys that are Rockies and Nuggets fans as well, we have the Mile High Symposium Wednesdays at 2:30, where they bring you all the news of all those teams in Denver going on. The show you're currently watching, of course, Broncos Talk at 6. We have the Mile High Outcast, which airs every Thursday at 7. And then on Fridays, the only Spanish podcast that I can think of off the top of my head, and maybe in all the NFL, dare I say, Viva los Broncos with Libre and myself hosting that show as well. And then for any breaking news, we have the Fresh Squeeze, which comes to you live with all the up-to-minute breaking news action. So make sure you hit that live notification button right next to the subscribe button after you do, so that way you don't miss a single episode or any breaking news in Broncos country. And then, of course, we got the Get Bucked pregame show with all the guys coming up to you before 1 hour before the start of the game with all the news and updates going into that week's game. And then, of course, for those that can't watch the game, we have the Bucking Booth play-by-play with Johnny and the guys bringing you play-by-play action so you guys can keep score or track at home or wherever it is that you are if you're unable to watch the game. And then, of course, after every single game, regardless of the results, we have the Buck Your Feelings post-game show with all the guys breaking down everything that happened in that game and looking forward to next week's game as well. I think that's it, right, Libre? I didn't miss anything, right? I'm getting old, so I have to ask. You're muted. Did you just change your screen?
There we go.
Oh, okay.
Thing was going wacky. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you, but I can't hear you. Give me a second.
Can't hear me?
Tech problems, I tell you. Tech. Always tech.
Well, while Libre figures
There
himself
we go.
out. Now you can hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Okay. Well,
I don't know
the
what
good
happened.
thing about tech well, technology is a weird, fickle thing, you know?
Oh, you know. You already know.
You already know. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have to talk about this past week's game against the Raiders. It was round 2, and just as we expected it didn't go how the Raiders planned. Shout out to Broncos country that showed up, Libre. All of that orange and that ugly sea of black and white was a fantastic thing of beauty to see. It rattled everybody from the head coach to all of the Raiders players.
I don't know why it would rattle them so much because, you know, when they moved to Vegas, they truly, truly lost home field advantage because, you know, Vegas already is a destination city itself. And what other thing are you going to do when you're there? Like, it's an easy trip, especially for the people here in Denver. If you're flying into Vegas, it's like less than it's an hour and a half or something like that. It's like less than 2 hours total time. If you're driving, it takes about a 10-hour drive to get there. So for anybody here in Denver, it's a quick trip. And if it's going to be something for the weekend and just to go to the game, it made it easier for Bronco fans to attend that game there. And I said this for any other team that's coming in as well. It's because it's already a destination spot where people like to go and visit. And why would they be surprised that they are now like a 50-50 in the stadium where it's 50% Raider fans, 50% of the opposing team? Because once you're in Vegas, you're there for the couple hours there in the stadium, and then you're out at the casinos, you're at the clubs, you're at the buffets, you're at whatever. So it's you make a weekend of it. And that's one thing that I've yet to do since they've opened up the stadium here now, 4 years ago? So that's something that I need to get out there. Hopefully I can do that next year. Now that my son's 21, I think it's going to be probably the best time to go out there and do that.
They're pretty evil at that, Libre, because when I was there, you don't go out the same way you come back in. They literally lead you out into that, I don't know what the name of that casino, the one that looks like a pyramid.
The Luxor or something like that?
The Luxor, and then whatever ones, I think the one with the castle. Because I remember when I finally found my way out, because that place is like a maze, man. Like,
oh, yeah.
I tried to cut through, and they were like, no, you have to follow the crowd, and it's just like a sea of orange and black and white, just literally finally trying to find their way. And I was lost for about maybe 30-40 minutes before I finally found the exit back onto the Las Vegas Boulevard. And I was like, okay, now I know where I am. But I was like, that's kind of evil, bro. Like, why would they make you walk up? But that's just their way of trying to say, like, all right, go, we want you to gamble, keep gambling.
No, exactly. And that's how it is too. Like how you're just saying, they're making you gamble on trying to get out of there. But that's the best way to do it, is like, why not lead them straight to a casino after they exit the game? Let's get them to the casino. Let's get them out there. Let's have them put some money into these ones over there, the Luxor, and I forget the one what the castle one is, but I know which one you're talking about. It's been like over almost 15 years ago since the last time I've been in Vegas, so I'm overdue.
Yeah, I went 2 years ago, and it was nice, not to get too far off topic, guys, but I didn't get to do any of the things that people that have been to Vegas wanted me to do. Like, I don't party. I'm not a club person. So I'm not that to go and club and, meet and pick up chicks and all that razzmatazz. That's not me. And I felt like after I used up my day's worth of money gambling, I went back to my room and went to bed.
Like, I'm all right, I'm done. Let's go. But you don't have to go out there and gamble and do all that stuff. I like because I work downtown. And I just like on my lunch break or just on a break, just go downtown to the 16th Street. I like to people watch. Like you have to go out there and people watch because it's just so interesting. Like what people are doing, what they're doing for the day. Like, are they working? Are they on lunch? Are they on break as well? But you have to go and do that. That's your entertainment. Like that's what I do for my entertainment for the week because I don't have my Broncos every day. I only have them on Sundays, so occasionally Mondays, on Thursdays, where I have to go out there and do something, and that's my entertainment for the week. So try that next time you're in Vegas, and I know you're going to see a lot of interesting stuff there.
Well, I don't know if I told you, not to get too far off topic, but my last day in Denver, me and my nephew, we went to 16th Street because that's where they were doing all the renovations for the train. So it was kind of like felt like hamsters because we were being redirected everywhere, and I was trying to find a place to eat before we headed to the airport, and I was trying to find something that we don't have back home, and then me and my nephew ended up in a Giordano.
You know what? And that's funny that you say that. That's 2 blocks from my office because that's right there on 16th in California, and I work on 18th in California.
Wow. Yeah. So we were 2 blocks away from your office. That's crazy. And we were just kind of there, like I was sitting there looking. I'm like, this place is pretty packed for what is it? Monday.
Oh yeah.
Like, I was expecting it because over here, like you go to Giordano's for lunch, like you'll see a couple of people, but that's like people that aren't really at work. But that for me, it was pretty not packed Libre, but the Chipotle next door, that was super packed. But I feel bad.
It's packed every day. That's always packed. It doesn't matter what day it is or what time of the day. It's packed. As soon as it opens, it's already packed. It has a line out the door. But what I love about them though is like you're in and out. You can get out of there in 10 minutes, even though if you're out the door waiting to get in. They're super quick on getting people in and out of there. So they have it down to a science right now.
Wow.
Giordano's, you have to wait an hour for your food.
Nah, we waited it was actually, and this is from somebody who frequents Giordano's, especially because they're more local here in Chicago. But we actually got our food quicker at that Giordano's than at any other one we've ever been to. But then again, it was only the 2 of us. Normally, when I go to Giordano's here in Chicago, it's with my family, and we always order pizza, appetizers, and all that jazz. So that's to be expected. But it was pretty quick. And the fact that me and my nephew got to sit there and, kind of people watch. And there was even a gift shop that the waitress recommended, which was just like down that block. That's where we bought all of our stuff to bring home for our family and stuff. So shout out to her. I forgot what her name was, but I appreciated the tip because I was trying to avoid buying stuff at Denver International because everything's more expensive.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you don't want to go there.
I mean, it's nice for like a last minute thing, but as big as Denver International is, if you guys have never been, that airport is probably bigger than the one we have here at O'Hare because
it is considered the I think we talked about this not too long ago. It is the biggest international airport in the world.
Wow.
And it still has places to grow.
I know I think they were doing renovations or something last time I was there because there were a couple of areas that were blocked off, but I don't know if they were expanding or if they were just doing renovations or what have you. But their TSA, like let's go move it, is a lot better than what we have here because Midway, they have like 20 lines, but they only open like 3. So it's like. And over there at Denver, like every single one is open and it's just constant. Let's move, people. Let's go. Shoes, backpack in the tray. Let's go. Move it.
Yep. Well, what's nice though too is like, especially at DIA, they have several access points to go through security. So it's not just the one side. It's like they have one like on the north side, one on the south side, and then they have a couple of small ones that are on the either eastern and west side of the area now. And I think they just redid it as well for TSA, so they can get a lot more people through security a lot faster as well. So that's part of the renovations.
Well, sorry for getting a little sidetracked here, folks, but that's what we do. Again, like I said at the beginning of the show, this is non-scripted, so that's the beautiful part.
Wait, didn't you send me the script? Because I have it right here. See,
your girl.
No, it's our wins and losses from this last week.
Well, getting back to the topic at hand, Libre, I wish I could say that the Broncos broke the Raiders, but I believe that they were more broken going into this game than afterwards, because you saw absolutely no energy from any of the starters. From Genty, Max Crosby was the only one that was actually trying to play like the playoffs were on the line for his team. So, and
but
then,
even funny thing about you say with him though as well, like yes, you could see that, and I think that's just him all the time is go 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 go. But there near the end, you could see like he's just defeated as well. It's like you see it in his face, his body movement once he's getting off the field. Like you can only do so much for your team. Like when I talk about that as well, is like I think about Myles Garrett. Look what he's doing. He went and stayed and got paid, and he's on one of the worst teams as well in the league. But it seems like he is just unstoppable. Like he's just go, 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 go.
And I will say, Libre, and I hope I'm trying to cut you off.
But no, you're good.
When I did see that, they showed a clip of just like Max Crosby, like just completely, like all that energy you saw him put out there for 3, maybe 4 quarters was just gone. And it made me realize and understand a whole lot more. And we talked about this on the show in the past about what George Payton did with Von Miller, because I saw what could have been if Von Miller would have stayed on the team. Like the Broncos were so dysfunctional. They had so many issues going on internally with the ownership, with John Elway, the way he was running things, with the coaching staff. Like the Broncos were stuck in a world of suck, as they kept saying at the time. And it was just not a great place to be. So while it still hurt us as fans to see what George Payton did, I know it hurt Von Miller a whole lot more. But he basically was playing a game that none of us at the time were seeing. And he took those draft picks that he got from the Rams. And yes, the Rams were able to go out and get a world title when, congrats to them for that, especially for Von getting one more championship before his career's over. But he basically went and was able to build the building blocks to have the team that we have today. So it made me understand it a whole lot more to say that, okay, yeah, it sucks that Von Miller was gone, but if George Payton didn't do what he did, then maybe we might not have, we definitely wouldn't have what we have in terms of right now. We would have been stuck with a Von Miller who was, I'm pretty sure was frustrated, but probably wasn't venting it out like the rest of his teammates, and literally just wasted whatever little left of his prime he had left.
No, you're right. And, the crazy thing that you bring up Von Miller, on my drive home today, I'll throw on my phone and I'll just let videos go through. And his video about the day that he got traded.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And it's crazy. It's like I saw that and I listened to the whole thing because because at first I thought it was because we just played the Washington, and I thought it was a video of right after that because he goes, "Hey, Broncos country, I have all this love," and that's how it started off. And then he kept on going on with the video, and I kept listening to it, and I'm like, dang, this is like literally minutes after he just got traded to the Rams, and he's just talking about all the coaches, about how much love he has for this team, and how much what he wants to do. And then he brought up Shannon Sharp. He goes, I want to be back. I want to come back to Denver because this is my love. He goes, I spent a third of my life here in Denver, 11 seasons here in Denver. He goes, and I'm 30, what he says, 32 years old or something like that when we traded him away. And he was like, I spent this time here in Denver. I grew up here in Denver. I became a father here in Denver. And then he just went off about all these people. And then he goes, Sharp, he went to a different team. Then he came back and signed with the Broncos. And then the crazy thing, right before we played Washington too, there's those videos and said that came out that he was like, man, right before the season started, I did reach out to Sean Payton and George Payton and trying to come back to Denver and be part of it. But then he realized, like, he goes, man, you have a solid crew. What am I going to do here in Denver? He goes, if I come back here to Denver, as much as I want to come back to Denver and actually be here because I love this team and love this city so much, I wouldn't be doing anything to help this team out. I'll be sitting on the sideline doing nothing. He goes, I really want to help out. And I already knew that because of who they have with Coop and Benito and, all these guys, he goes, there's no room for me here. He goes, and I'm glad that he actually realized that and understood that part as well, and saying, yes, we don't need you. But that's the thing is, like, yeah, we love you as a player, what you did for us and all that, but there's no room for you here. And I tried saying that earlier as well, like at the beginning of the season when we were talking about him coming in, and I was like, you know what? That's just a nostalgia part of it, that we would just want him back. A lot of people want him back just because of his name. But if you look at it right now, just in the grand aspect of it, we didn't need him at all. And I'm glad that he made that decision not to come, or the team didn't make that decision to do that as a nostalgia thing as well. But you already know that he's going to be coming back to sign a 1-year deal, a 1-day deal, and then he's going to retire a Bronco, because he's already said it, like, going forward, like, that's what he wants. And I know that's the Broncos country is going to do that. The Greg and Penna group are the Walton and Penna group are going to do it. So that's not going to be an issue. Once you're ready to retire, Vaughn, you're going to be more than welcome. We're going to open our arms, bring you in, sign that 1-day contract, and we're going to put your name up there in the lights right there next to Demaryius Thomas. So can't wait for that to happen. We can wait a couple more years if you need to, but, it's going to be 5 years after the time you actually decide to retire when your name will get up there in the stadium. And you know what? Wouldn't it be nice to have it if he did retire, say this year, this was his last year, him being the first name in the new stadium, putting his name up there, because that's about the timing that's going to be happening. So if we can do that, I think that would be actually phenomenal. If he wanted to do that, that would be like the most fitting type of scenario. The way I look at it, like, you can probably even say that this is the house that Miller built or whatever. Just like how we told everyone when they built the new Mile High Stadium now, when it was Invesco at the time, we said this is the house that Elway built. So, it's in a way you could say that, but again, it might not be. It's probably be too much time, because if we end up going in now and talking about us winning the championship, say 1 or 2 in the next couple years, it could be a thing that we can say this is the house that Casa Bonito,
I know I heard that same interview too, and I think we talked about it on this show, Libre, where I want to believe it, but there's a small part of me, and the only reason I say it's small because Von Miller did mention that him and George Payton had a very short conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but I have a feeling that the only reason George Payton maybe as an option, as like what probably happened, was probably that the asking price for Von Miller's services was maybe too high. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm not saying that's true. I think because obviously Von Miller's wouldn't come for free. He didn't go play for the Commanders for free either. I know technically I think he's still on the Buffalo Bills.
He is on their dead cap money.
On their cap money hit, because he signed a 6-year deal after he won that championship with the Rams. And I think that unless they have a cash out option or whatever, he's still on the hook for, I think the Bills are still on the hook for like 2 more years. 3 or 2?
Something like that. I think it's two more years.
Because he was only with Buffalo for like 3 years out of that. So he probably has 2 more years on his contract. I don't know if he can retire with, you know, that type of thing, but he can go play for any team damn near. And that's the only reason why I don't think that's true. But I don't know why. It's just like that nagging feeling that I got. Like, why was that conversation so short? But you know, we'll never know. But hopefully, that's really what it was. That Vaughn came to the realization that, you know, he wouldn't be a rotational piece. Although, to be honest with you, I would have loved to see Vaughn even as a rotational piece. I don't care if he played one snap and then he went home, because you know in that one snap he's going to give it all he's got.
Yeah, I agree with you with that. But again, like, what a classy guy. I don't know if you saw it right after the game against the Commanders. Like we talked about this last week about him taking selfies with fans, like actually taking their phones and taking a selfie with them, and those people posting on social media and doing all that. You know, just and that just tells you how much love he has for this organization, and he's not shy about it. And that's what I love about it as well. He is not shy. He'll tell people like, bro, that Denver's my team. That's who it is.
I didn't see one Von Miller jersey that he signed though. That was crazy. They were all Broncos.
Oh yeah, because that's all that was left after that game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure he feels some kind of way with the direction the Commanders are going, especially we'll talk about it a little bit later in the overtime segment. But going back to just kind of wrapping up over this. See, that's the good thing about sweeping the Raiders, Libre, is that we don't really have to spend so much time on it, just for the simple fact that there's not much to say, because we knew that the Broncos were going to win this game, and they did. Although I will say that when they switched to the quarterback to Kenny Pickett, I was really hoping that the Broncos would kind of, you know, the defense anyway, would push their weight down and, you know, kind of show that, all right, you know, we're going to close this. We're not going to give you a garbage time touchdown. And unfortunately, Kenny Pickett looked like, you know, I don't want to say Tom Brady, but he looked like he way better than Geno per se, and he was able to throw a dot in the end zone, and he got a touchdown. Now, I will say the ending. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say though, I also feel that at that time, because we were already up 21-7 at that point, that when he got that touchdown, he made that touchdown, we were already playing soft. We weren't on there. We weren't on tight coverages and whatnot. So I feel that's why he was able to go and move the ball and be more effective than what Geno Smith was, because we already let loose a little bit. And what about this Denver D that we're talking about? This is the second quarterback this year that we've taken out, you know? So I don't know if we want to put a notice on some of these other NFL teams. I know that Mr. Phillip Rivers, old man Rivers, is now out of retirement, hasn't played a game in 2020. And I can't believe, like, when they did that signing, on how fast the internet works. But no, then I'll wait for that later. But that's the only reason why to talk about it, is I think is because RD already went soft. We weren't as in tight coverage as we were, and that's why Pickett was able to throw that laser of a dot to get that touchdown. And again, and what's funny is about the spread, the Broncos were like 8.5 point favorite for the game itself. And I think that David Poitney, or however you say his name, had some money on the game, because they ended up kicking the ball with the last second. It's like, you already knew you weren't going to kick. You're going to kick the ball. You're not going to have any time left to get an onside kick to do a Hail Mary. So that's why he was right away saying, these guys need to be investigated. It's like, man, did somebody tell me that you have money on this game without telling me you have money on the game?
That was funny, because when you see the look on the Raiders players and even the coaching staff, like, how do you not know that kicking that field goal wasn't going to run down the clock? Like, the fact that they were acting all surprised and, what's going on? That was 4 seconds? Like, what the? Like, that to me was freaking hilarious. Like,
right?
I was just like, the Raiders can't be that bad where they don't know basic football. But apparently they were, because they thought they were going to get an onside kick and then they were going to recover the onside kick. And then Kenny Pickett was going to have like 30 seconds to try to drive down the field. Like, I have no idea. But that's just how bad the Raiders are right now. And they're probably going to be like that for a long time. Because if it's one thing that's going to be really hard for the Raiders to find, and I hope they don't find it anytime soon, Libre, is a really good coach. Because as we can obviously see, Pete Carroll is not the right answer. And I don't see them firing Pete Carroll in his first year just for the simple fact that they're going to give him like a Cinderella type thing. And it's like, all right, well, we'll give you some more players and we'll give you some more money and try to turn it around. And then maybe if the Raiders don't get better next year, midseason, he'll be like the first coach fired. Hell, they gave Brian Callahan a season and a half. Why can't they give it to him,
No, agreed.
And then Richie Rich joining us here in the chat, Libre, and he says, Libre, I see a spot on the back wall not covered in Broncos gear. We lost you, Libre. Can't hear you.
Wait, where is it at? I don't know what you're talking about. I know I have to fill that little spot right there. I know what you're talking about.
Don't worry, Richie. He's I'm pretty sure he's got like a flag or an upcoming certificate.
Well, I do have this that I could potentially put up there. This is like old school too. Back in the day with Steve Atwater. I still also have something like this that I can put up with a possible Orange Crush. All the signatures from that team right there. Look at from the what team? 87 team? Look at that. Adon, why are you big sign? It sounds like you're celoso or something.
Because it's the only time I miss my Broncos team basement. I'm like, frick, man. Your cousin jumping in saying, what's up, Broncos country? 11-2. Let's get ready for the Packers and punch our ticket to the playoffs.
Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? Let's go.
Well, that's a great segment as we get into the second part of our show here, Libre. Those pesky Green Bay Packers. Now, I will say that they gave everybody here within the earshot of my ears, in terms of Bears fans, I could hear the swearing all the way from Soldier Field. I know they were in Green Bay, but it was just that type of game. And the last 3 days, everybody that's seen me is like, we need a favor from the Broncos.
Like this is going to be one of the best games, I think, this weekend as well. I know that the Vegas, I think they're just salty because we went in there and destroyed the Raiders, but they already have the Packers as a favorite here in this game. And, you talk about disrespect, talk about the Broncos not getting their just due because of the way that they win games or whatnot. You know what? Keep on doubting us. The haters, please keep doubting us. Because guess what? All we do is win, no matter what. We're on a 10-game winning streak right now. Can the Packers say that right now? No. So that's one thing is even the after practice today, Bo Nix was asked about being a dog in this weekend's game. He goes, "Oh, we don't really care about that. We're not really looking into that. My mom said that we're going to win, and that's all that matters." So that's all that really matters is because my mom said that the Denver Broncos are going to win, and that's all he cares about, and that's all that I care about, Mrs. Nix as well. Let's go.
Well, aside from the last week's game, Libre, I don't remember Green Bay winning any of the games that they won huge. To me, that tie that they had against the Cowboys, it really hurts to see. I'm pretty sure if you're a Packer fan, you really hate seeing that one because that's a game that either the Packers should have won or the Packers should have lost. Ties in the NFL sometimes I feel shouldn't happen. I kind of wish that they had the playoff in it rule where it's like you got to keep playing until somebody scores or somebody messes up or what have you. But The only thing that worries me about the Packers, Libre, is obviously Micah Parsons, because for Green Bay to go out and get his services, Micah Parsons, if you let him, he can wreck a game. And the good thing is that Ben Powers has been activated off of IR, so we should see Ben Powers come back just in time for this game, and rightfully so.
Well, with Ben Powers, he's on the inside, so you have to think that McGlinchey and Bowles are going to be the ones that are going to take the brunt of him coming in and doing the pass rush against them.
Mhm.
And I can't remember if they actually called that sack that happened against Bowles. That would have been the first sack of the year that would have happened. So if that's going to be the case, I feel, which is whatever, he gave up one. You can't be perfect. But with Bowles and McGlinchey, the way that they've been playing this year, like, yeah, you might get some rushes or like getting some QB pressure on him, but I don't think that we're going to be able to, that I don't think one of these two guys are going to give up a sack to Parsons, because I think Bo is already good. Well, he's in it as well. He knows that he's the best defender that they have. But if we can get Evan Ingram in, if we can get some of these short passes in, like with Harvey, like what we did this last weekend, I think we saw the capability of what he can do. And I feel like we're going to be able to do it again with this Packer D, because they're going to be oversell us on this game, and that they think they're going to get to him, and Bo's going to pick them apart. Either if it's going to be a little quick dump off and they're over pursuing and whatnot, I feel like we're going to be able to take advantage of them. And this is the great opportunity to do it. And then especially to do it here in the Mile High City, take advantage of that. Make them keep on going. I want to see an up-tempo game so that they are out of breath and have to do as much, or having those guys out there as long as possible and not make any changes on our side. If they make a change on the offensive side, they have to give the opportunity for the defense to match up. But if we can go up-tempo, trust me, Micah Parsons is going to be on the sideline with a mask on there trying to get some oxygen. Guaranteed they're going to show that on the screen.
Well, I have to say, Libre, that Jordan Love has not started off hot, and which is kind of crazy because he has a lot of really good weapons. I got to give props where props is due. Romeo Dobbs, Christian Watson. They just got Jaden Reed back, and obviously Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs, when he was here with the Raiders in the AFC with the Raiders, I should say, that guy was a pain in the butt. And most of the games that the Broncos lost to the Raiders were because Josh Jacobs. So obviously he's not exactly the same player he was when he left. That Packers offensive line has struggled a lot this season in terms of not just, the running game, but trying to protect Jordan Love. And the last time Love played in Mile High, I think it was 2 years ago, and the Packers lost that game. The Broncos beat them.
Mm-hmm.
So either way, you can't take them, for granted. And this is a game where the Broncos cannot let up. They cannot do what they did against the Raiders, where, like you said, towards the end of the game, they just kind of let off the pressure, and you can't give them an inch, because if you give them an inch, they will take a mile, type of thing. So this is the part where the schedule starts to get harder. There's no more freebies, no easy games, none of that stuff. So just like Bears fans need help from us, we need help from Buffalo to beat New England. So that way, when the Broncos win this weekend, they have a much stronger lead going into the division. No, well, not just the division, but the AFC, the conference. And with a win over Green Bay, Libre, if I'm not mistaken, the Broncos will secure a playoff spot. So they will be one of the first teams this weekend to secure a playoff spot. We won't know where they land exactly. I don't think we'll know for sure up until week 17, I want to say, Libre.
Week 17 is going to be that's the Thursday night game with KC.
Mm-hmm. So that's when we'll know for sure where the Broncos land. So we could be looking at a week 18 where, if the Broncos secure the number one spot, that they play all backups against the Chargers.
And you know what? One thing is, it's already been said, the Broncos now control their own destiny. So we just need to go out there, play our game. Like my buddy Sean Gray was just saying here on TikTok, he goes, control the ball, by running it, let me just pull it up. It goes, you got to be able to run the ball, control the clock, need to force some turnovers, and it should be a good game. And that's what I was just telling him. I go, if we can go ahead and do that, like that's really the main goal is like how you just said, getting max powers back onto the field, and him being able to then have these creating us having this running game and being able to produce that. If we can get that run game going, this is going to be a hard offense to stop. And if we can have that full line out there again, trust me, that's going to be hard. And then you throw in those play actions and then forget it. Like they do not know. It's going to be a guessing game for them on that. But just like we did with the Raiders, and the first time, I think this is like the first time in, I don't know, like a decade or something, that the Broncos had 3 drives that were over 8 minutes on each drive. You control the clock. And like I was even telling my son, I go, dang, this game is going so quick because of the time of possession that the Broncos took over that game. And I go, dang, this game was over so fast. But you know what? It was also when you have those long drives, you don't have that many possessions as well. So when you do have those long drives, you have to produce touchdowns. You can't go down there and just get field goals, because if you're just going down and just getting field goals, you're not going to win the game. But I feel like they have been able to go down there and control the ball and actually get in there and score touchdowns. Like you just saw, we scored 3 touchdowns. And I think that that's going to be the key to success this weekend as well.
Yeah, the Broncos' time of possession was amazing, and that wore the Vegas defense off a whole lot more. So if the Broncos can keep doing that, and the thing that also gave them time of possession was the penalties. The penalties were so limited, and the Broncos, I think, are second or third in terms of most being one of the most penalized teams in the league. So that's something that the Broncos definitely have to try to clean up before the postseason, because a flag, especially the later into the game, can really, really cost a team possibly the game.
No, absolutely. And you know what's funny that you say that? I saw this this headline that came up. I don't know if it was Adam Schefter or if it was just some type of Yahoo notification, but it came up saying that the Packers fans are already crying because the officiating crew for this game tends to throw a lot more flags on the away team, and because it's that crew here in Denver, they're already saying like the Packer fans are already upset because that refereeing crew throws more penalties on the away team as opposed to the home team itself. So it's already started. It's already starting to happen. People are noticing, but you know what? We feel like we've gotten, like, there's been a couple of plays, like even on that Raider game, that PS2 got thrown flags on for defensive PIs. And it's like, maybe one of them was, but not the other one. The other one was a clear, not a DPI on that. But you have to play the game as it goes and overcome those. And so far, that's what the Broncos have been able to do. That's why we're on a 10-game winning streak. So they can control that. They understand what they need to do. So when they need to come in clutch, they're coming in clutch.
I wish that I was anywhere in Wisconsin this weekend, because if it's one thing that Packers fans hate to see, especially it's like aside from their obviously division rivals, because I'm telling you, I could still feel the stares and glares from people the last time, because I was walking around in at the Dells with my Broncos jersey on, watching the game on my phone the last time we played the Packers, I mean, and you could just, like, the people would just stare, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like a unicorn, rare to see, huh?
Is it because you're a 6'10" Mexican?
Probably that, or all the Broncos orange stuff I had on was just like,
and they're thinking it's bear stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did until they saw the horse, because a lot of people see orange and they right away think bears.
Oh, so, yeah.
But either way, I'm pretty sure they don't like anybody that's not a cheesehead, and rightfully so, being in enemy territory. I mean, I don't know if you've seen any Packers fans so far yet, Lieber, but I imagine that on Sunday when you get over there, it should be a pretty handful because the Packers fans, they do travel well.
They do travel well, and actually, I have already seen Packer fans only because they're in my office as well. There's 2 Packer fans, or 3 actually, Packer fans in my office, which is weird. One of them grew up here in Denver. One did grew up in Wisconsin, and the other one is he said that he's just a fan of them. And I think it was because of Super Bowl 31. But
well, the only Packers fan in my house right now is my sister-in-law downstairs, and we're gonna be rivals for one day. So,
well, you need to kick her out for the 3 hours. Just say that we are no longer familia, and we're done for the next 3.5 hours, and then you can come back in.
Oh no, somebody's got to watch my nephew.
He's old enough.
At 5,
and he's a KC fan.
No, my other nephew.
Oh, your other nephew. Okay.
Yeah, he hasn't picked a team yet, but he's gonna have his hands full living in a house with a Packer fan, a Lions fan, a Broncos fan, a Steelers fan, a Bears fan.
He's all confused. That's why he hasn't picked a team yet.
And knowing him, my other nephew being a Chiefs fan when he comes to visit, so it's like I wouldn't be surprised if he's like a Bills fan or some team that none of us are a fan of at this point. When like I want to say 5, maybe 10 years from now, I don't know. Some kids become fans at an early age, and others probably not at all, or when they're grown-ups. I have no idea.
Right.
Loving football just kind of hits everybody differently. It's not always at the same age. That's why I always crack up when I see the videos of parents with newborn kids that are Bills fans when they put their babies through like those little breakaway tables. Like,
those are hilarious. It's like that baptismal into the Bills Mafia, like that. You have to do that. Like I've seen some of those videos, and I go, "That's kind of cool," but I'm over it.
Yeah, and then I started thinking to myself, I'm like, why don't we have a ritual like that in Denver? Like, I don't want to say put a baby on a saddle, but
yeah, I don't know. We just have to give them where it just says incomplete.
Incomplete. I'm surprised that half of the population in Denver isn't named Elway.
There's actually one of the guys that I always see at the Broncos game. He's already retired, and but he goes to all the Nuggets games, all the Avs games, he goes to all of them, like even the Rockies games. And he legally changed his name his name is Jerry Elway, and then his last name. I'm like, dang, that is like, and he like legally went to and changed his name to Elway. Not like his dog or cat or anything like that, like to name him Elway, but he legally changed like his middle name to Elway, which is crazy.
That's badass, man.
And talking about Elway, I don't know if you've seen this. Everyone that's out there, all you guys here in Broncos country,
2 weeks,
Monday, the 22nd, Elway, the documentary on Netflix. Go out there and watch it.
I cannot wait. I think I'm gonna watch that like every single day because
what's fun about that is that the DMVR bar is having a watch party, like sending out people to say, hey, set up a reservation and watch it starting at 7 p.m. on Monday the 22nd.
Wow, dude. What's even more.
And what's funny too is like I had people reach out to me and texted me saying, hey, I just saw your post. Is Elway going to be there? I'm just sharing it from the DMVR. I don't know if he's going to be there or not. More than likely not, but you never know.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if, John Elway knows or doesn't know about DNVR, but I mean, it is Denver and he is the Duke of Denver. So
yeah.
He's got to know, and he's probably been everywhere in the last, 30, 40 years?
Oh, yeah.
So it's a miracle to me that not every street is named John Elway Boulevard.
Then no one would know where to go. Yeah, I'm in the corner of Elway and Elway.
Yeah, Elway.
But that's every corner. Well, then find me.
Come find me, bro.
That is hilarious.
That's actually an interesting question. Is there a John Elway Boulevard in Denver?
I don't think there is. If there was, like, what the city does is right after the teams win the championship or whatever, right there in front of the city and county building. I think it's Bannock, but they'll like temporarily rename it to Broncos Drive or Avalanche, whatever.
Oh, okay.
And there has been time where like when Todd Helton retired with the Rockies, they called it Helton Way or something like that, temporarily. So it's like a temporary naming of the street for stuff. And I'm sure that they did it for Elway too back in the day.
Yeah. Well, when I go visit Denver, I'm gonna go to City Hall and give them a heartfelt speech about we need to make a John Elway Boulevard like permanent. Maybe they can put it on where they build a new stadium. To get the Broncos
They might.
stadium,
You
just
never know. Yeah.
go straight down John Elway Boulevard, make a left at Von Miller Street, and boom, there you are.
And now you're in Broncos country.
Yeah, exactly. But one other tidbit that I saw, Libre, and I don't know if this is true, but I saw this video and I forgot to share it with you because my TikTok thing crashed before I could share it. But it was a video talking about back in 2009, Mike Shanahan, when he was the coach, that with the offense that he had running with Jay Cutler, I think it was 2009, that offense was starting to kind of mimic what the Broncos offense was just a couple of years earlier, like that 97, 98 offense where they were just playing lights out football. But the defense, which was being run by Josh McDaniels, was really, really bad. It was horrible. And the management at the time decided to get rid of Mike Shanahan as the answer. And all they did was just deal with all of Josh McDaniel's shenanigans, and that's how the Broncos started to go down from there. But in a way, the way I thought about it, I'm like, well, yeah, that sucks. They made the wrong decision, obviously. But if that doesn't happen, Libre, the Broncos don't end up with the number one pick, or a top pick, I should say, not the number one. They were the number two, and they don't end up picking Von Miller in 2011.
No, you're right. And well, I don't know if because I can't remember the years that Plummer actually played. Was it Plummer or Cutler that you said?
Cutler. Jay
Cutler. Okay. So yeah, it was because you have to remember back in 2005 when we got Jake Plummer, when we lost to Pittsburgh there in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the best teams that we had since 97, 98. And I felt like if we would have beat Pittsburgh that game, we would have went on and win that Super Bowl and not the Steelers. But stuff happens, and it's just the course of what happened with that. And that's going back to, yes, letting go. And you have to think about it as well. When we actually let go of Shanahan, it was just, he's already gone and won us championships. He's gone through the whole process of doing that. And now it's just like, we need something new. And I feel like they said, you know what? We don't need Shanahan anymore. We need something new. Josh McDummy is in here. He's a young new coach who's been doing excellent as a offensive coordinator. Let's go in and do that. But he just threw it. And you're right. And it's just all these actions that happen leading up to that. And everything happens for a reason. And I think that that's what the universe wanted, is to have Von Miller here in Denver and to help us propel us to that. Yes, it took us a couple times where he got suspended because he wanted to smoke a little bit of weed. He wanted to do that. But you know what? He learned from it. He's now he was that great player 10 years ago, the number one, like the best player out there at that time. And it just happened to be that the universe wanted him to do that here in Denver.
I was about to say that I almost forgot that Brian Greasy was the man that followed Elway after he left, and talk about big shoes to fill.
Oh yeah.
From 99 all the way to 2003 when the Broncos went and got Jake Plummer.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like when I was reading that list, Libre, I was like, that's kind of like where our quarterback carousel started for us. Because everybody from 1982 to 1998, people were just they didn't really think about it because John Elway was the man, the Duke of Denver, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
but we were just kind of cycling back and forth, and if that whole thing with Shanahan didn't happen, who knows what would have happened with Jay Cutler if he would have been able to take us to the playoffs or a championship. Because then the Broncos don't have to go out and trade Jay Cutler to the Bears and get Kyle Orton, and Kyle Orton obviously wasn't the answer. And then they went out and got what's his name, Tim Tebow, and Tebow looked like maybe he could, maybe he wouldn't. But then that shellacking against the Patriots kind of messed things up. And then in 2012. I don't know how John Elway did it, voodoo magic, call it what you will, but getting Peyton Manning to come and play for the Broncos was an absolutely amazing thing in 2012.
Well, it's because we trusted him. That's what I think John Elway, just knowing, because he was a quarterback himself and coming into the league, and I think it's Elway just talking to him and saying, you know what, we want you here. We know that you can still play. And even though he still had those question marks about, can he even grip the ball? Can he even do that? Especially after having that neck surgery. Can he even do that? Because right after his surgery, he cannot hold a football at all. So that was like the biggest concern. And that's why they were like they're criticizing Elway the whole time as well. It's like, what is Elway doing? Why are they signing him? He can't play. That's why Jim Irsay let him go. But like, I was just watching Draft Day, and at the end of the movie of Draft Day, they took a chance on him, and now look what he did. He took us to 2 Super Bowls out of the 4 years that we were here, winning one of them, and that's really the ultimate goal is to get him in here and win a Super Bowl, and he did that right away off the bat. The second year he came in, we were in the Super Bowl. We had the best offense in the league, one of the best offense ever as well, and then we ended up losing that Super Bowl, but then, we came back 2 years later having the best defense in the league, in the world at that time. And guess what? We hosted up that Lombardi Trophy saying this one's for Pat.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, I know we're running a little bit late, but sometimes we get caught up in the talk and the cheese man or what have you. So we do apologize. But ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of regulation, which means it is time for overtime.
Overtime. Let's go.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Broncos Talk Overtime. If this is your first time here, this is the part of the show where Libre and I let down our hair figuratively and talk about any and all things going on in our lives, which is what we normally do during the off season when the Broncos aren't playing. But during the regular season, Libre, the chat, and myself like to give out the picks for the other games that are upcoming in the matchup. And I hate to report, but I'm still trailing Libre. I have 130 points. Libre has 134, and chat is 119.
I love hearing that number.
I think we might have to quit doing this either because I don't know.
You're running out of weeks.
I'm running out of excuses. Is more like it.
That is hilarious.
We're going to go down the list. We're going to try to go not super fast, but not take that long either. I know I always say that, but I talk too much, and I can't help it. That's just the chismosa in me. So with that being said, Libre, let's get it started, chat. Make sure to get those picks in. Otherwise, you're going to miss out like you did 2 weeks ago. Juan Marquez, I hope you're still here with us, listening as well. But ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Libre, tomorrow night we kick off the Atlanta Falcons at 4-9, going on the road against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 7-6. Let me just say that the Buccaneers losing to the Saints last week was horrible. It was terrible. They should not have lost that game, but Baker Mayfield looks so average without Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. And hell, even though they got Bucky Irving back, I would have thought that Bucky Irving would put that team on his back and take it. They couldn't do it. The Bucs defense is just completely off kilter. So even if the Bucs offense can figure it out, Libre, I think that their defense is really going to be an issue, especially if they get into the wild card. But the Falcons, on the other hand, they're just terrible. They can't get out of their own way. Kirk Cousins isn't doing anything. Bijan Robinson is literally kind of being wasted, if I'm being honest with you. So I'm starting to agree with all the analysts to say that Raheem Morris probably has to be out as Falcons manager. But I don't think that the Bucks are worse than the Falcons, so I'm going to say Falcons in this case. Or
Wow.
Buccaneers. Sorry, not
Oh, I
Falcons.
was gonna say, I was like,
Because I was
wow.
reading the chat. So I'm going to say Bucks.
I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers as well. I think this last game was kind of a fluke with Baker. I don't know what was going on, but I think this is going to be his bounce back game, and they're at home as well. So I'm going to go with Bucks.
Then we head on to the Sunday night, not Sunday night, but Sunday games. The Cleveland Browns are at 3-10, and they're coming here to Chicago Libre at 9-4, and we are being forecasted to be negative 10-degree weather, Libre. So it is going to be a cold one at Soldier Field. To all of our Bears fans listening, please make sure you cover up and don't do that thing where you're standing there with no shirt on and doing the letters and stuff, because you're going to get frostbite. But I think the Bears are definitely going to be on a revenge tour of sorts, because I know that losing to the Packers last week left a bad taste in their mouth. But then again, Shedeur Sanders, I mean, he looked really good against Tennessee last week, but it was Tennessee. So I was expecting him to shine. Obviously, the Bears defense is much better than what Tennessee is fielding. So I think Shedeur come crashing down to earth, and I don't think that the Browns defense is going to do enough to stop the Bears. So I'm going to say the Bears win this one.
I agree with the Bears as well. And they have a better defense. Shedeur is still, he's still in there learning. But I feel like even though they've announced it already that he's going to start for the remainder of the year, but he doesn't have enough weapons on his side to go out there and actually win some of these games. But the Bears have it. They have that grittiness. They have that. They just have the ganas. They have it, and then especially being there in Chicago, I think they'll take it.
The ganas. Next, we go to on the road with the Baltimore Ravens at 6-7, who go on the road to face the Cincinnati Bengals at 4-9. Now, I still don't agree with the Bengals activating Joe Burrow. I don't think it was necessary. Last week, watching Joe Burrow throw back-to-back picks, one of them being a pick six, was really, really embarrassing for Joe Burrow. And not only that, but they lost the game because of it.
Mm-hmm.
And they just gave the Bills more leverage, if anything. And I think that the Bengals, maybe it's time, especially if they lose this game and they're officially eliminated from contention, that they, rest all their starters, try to figure out who they can keep next year, who they cannot. I still think that they should trade T. Higgins and get something for him, because I don't think that having him and Jamar Chase on the same team did what they thought it was going to do, like, with George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb type of thing. And same thing with Trey Hendrickson. Unfortunately, he got hurt, and he's dealing with a shoulder injury, I believe, or something. So he's going to be out. So it's pretty likely that he's not even going to suit up as a Bengal anymore, especially if they lose this game. But as much as I want to count the Bengals out, I don't think I can, because the Ravens, Lamar Jackson has regressed again. Derrick Henry has not been anywhere near dominant as he was in week one. I wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens cut a tie for him, to be honest with you, at the end of the season. So I'm going to say that as long as Joe Burrow finds Jamar Chase, I think that the Bengals are going to win this one, especially at home. So I'm going to pick the Bengals.
Well, here's another one that I'm going to be going more ahead of you. So I'm going to go with the Ravens.
Chat says Ravens as well. Ooh la la. Next, we have the Arizona Cardinals at 3-10, going on the road to face the Houston Texans at 8-5. I mean, it doesn't really matter who the Cardinals have slinging the rock. They got absolutely rocked by the Rams last week, and they're just a shell of themselves. I think that Jonathan Gannon is more than likely going to get fired at the end of the season. There's really no reason to keep him They got to find a patsy, and I think it's going to be Jonathan Gannon. The Texans, congratulations to them for making all us Broncos fans happy on Sunday Night Football, going out there, not just beating Mahomes and the Chiefs, but embarrassing Mahomes and the Chiefs at home. So kudos to them. And hopefully, if the Chiefs somehow find some dark magic and make it into the playoffs, hopefully they run into Houston again. But I think that the Texans are going to win this one hands down.
I agree with you 100% that the Texans will win this game. But when you think about it and look back at when the Broncos beat the Texans, on how huge of a game that was. And analysts are already saying this, that the Broncos and Texans are 1-2. Some saying that the Texans have the better defense than what we do. And it could be where they might be right, but guess what? We came out with the victory. We went into their house and we won. So looking at that as the aspect of it, the Broncos feel like a better team. I think we match up better against them. Yeah, it might have like all of our games have been one possession games, but you know what? That's what a defense does. And as long as your offense, or if you have a scoring defense, can get more points than the opposing team, you win. And that's what the Broncos have done 10 straight times.
By the way, quick sidebar, Libre, on that point. The analysts need to start remembering that the Broncos beat the Texans, because every video I've seen about the Texans being dangerous and watch out in the AFC and blah, 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 they always forget to mention the fact that the Broncos beat them at home. And people are like, oh, but CJ Stroud got hurt. He was playing good, blah, blah. I don't care. This is a next man league. Because if it would have been the other way around, if it would have been Bo Nix that got hurt in that game and the Broncos lose that one, you would not want us to go here like, well, you're lucky that Bo Nix got hurt. You'd have been like, hey, shut up. A loss is a loss. Take it like a man type of thing. So I don't want to hear those excuses, and put some respect on my team's name.
No, exactly. But you have to remember, with that game, though, Davis Mills went in there and played really well. Like, he almost went in there and actually they almost went and beat us.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say the same thing to the people that say, if Bo Nix gets hurt and you're going to watch and see what happens, I'm like, you know what? Actually, I'm not afraid if Bo Nix does get hurt, because who's our backup quarterback? Does anybody even know? I do. Jarrett Stidham. Stiddy. He knows this offense in and out. It's crazy that people just because you don't see him out there. But let me tell you, he knows this offense. Go back and watch the preseason. Look how well he did during the preseason. If Bo does go down, I'm not afraid of them. Stiddy coming in and playing, because he knows this team very well, and he's going to carry us. And just like the last Super Bowl, the last two big Super Bowls that we had, Elway didn't play his final year that much, and also Peyton Manning didn't play that much in that final for Super Bowl 50. And we ended up winning the Super Bowl. It's because we had a backup quarterback that was able to take care of us and carry us into the playoffs and so forth. And I feel like if that's the scenario here, I'm not afraid, because Stiddy will do that.
Next, we have the New York Jets at 3-10, Libre, going on the road to face the Jacksonville Jaguars at 9-4. Just when you thought things couldn't get worse for the Jets, Justin Field gets hurt, Tyrod Taylor gets hurt, and they had Bradley something, I forgot his name, going out there, and they just got shellacked.
Yeah.
So I honestly don't see them rushing Justin Fields in there. Obviously, he's not the answer. Tyrod Taylor's not the answer. Aaron Glenn is definitely going to have his hands full after his Cinderella year, trying to figure out how he can fix that team, but it's not going to be on Sunday. The Jaguars should be a cakewalk for them. So I'm going to say Jacksonville wins that game.
Same. And it looks like the chat is in agreement.
Next, we have the LA Chargers at 9-4, going on the road to face the Kansas City Chiefs, who are 6-7. So it's a must win for the Chiefs. They have to literally win the next 4 games. They cannot afford another loss. Even though they're at home, I know that they're going to be more pressured and more inspired to win than when they lost back in week 2. But I think that the Chargers, that game on Monday night was just crazy. The Chargers should have lost that game like 3-4 times, but so should the Eagles. And depending on how Justin Herbert's hand is, They're going to rely on the running game, I think, more and kind of trick the Chiefs into thinking that Herbert's going to keep throwing the ball more than hand it off. And Omarion Hampton looks like he didn't lose much, didn't collect much rust, and Vidal is just kind of been a pretty good player in himself. So if they can kind of keep doing what they're doing and limit the mistakes, I think that the Chargers can squeak a win. Now, obviously, they don't have the same offensive line that they did week 2, but I think it could be enough to rattle the Chiefs. So I'm going to say Chargers win that game.
I am going to actually go with KC to help us solidify getting the AFC West.
Mm-hmm.
Tie. There's a tie.
Yeah, the only time he says Chargers. Yeah, and I feel it too. Like I don't mind. I would love a tie because they both lose. But I really have no dog in this fight. If Kansas City Chiefs lose, I'm happy. If the Chargers lose, I'm happier because then it helps us in the standing. So as long as one of them loses, but having them both lose, I think is asking for too much. But hey, miracles happen every day, right?
Right.
Next, we have the Buffalo Bills at 9-4 going on the road against the New England Patriots at 11-2. So I'm just going to say Buffalo Bills on this one because we need the Bills to beat the Patriots so that way we can it'll be one step further in trying to secure that number 1 spot. So Buffalo Bills all the way.
I agree. I think the Bills will go in there. I think this is the Patriots are going to take it as more of a trap game for them. And even though, like they saying, Drake May is going out there and being a MVP candidate right now, but he's gonna run into this Josh Allen team where you don't know if he's gonna pass or he's gonna run or he's gonna do the RPO, like look like he's handing it off, but then he's running it. So that's another thing that I don't think that they're going to be ready for, even though they have all this film on it. But I do think that the Bills will take over.
Next, we have the Washington Commanders at 3-10 going on the road against the New York Giants at 2-11. This is with the exception of Jackson Dart, your toilet bowl game of the week here, Libre. Washington got absolutely destroyed by Minnesota last week. What Minnesota did to Washington is exactly what I thought our Broncos defense was going to do to Washington 2 weeks ago. And it doesn't matter if it's – I'm pretty sure we're not going to see what's his name?
Jaden Daniels. He's already been ruled out.
Yeah. Well, he should be ruled out like completely. It shouldn't be like we're looking at it day to day. Like, no, just shut him down. Try to figure out what to fix because I'm telling you, this Commanders team needs to be studied because taking what they were last year, somebody online made a great comparison. They're comparing it to the RG3 effect. So, yeah. So I didn't even think about that. So we could be looking at like another RG3 type thing where if Jaden Daniels' injury is something that is not something that can be easily fixed and repairable, and it's like a lingering injury, like could it be something that completely keeps him from reaching the potential that we saw in his rookie year, or is it something that he can overcome? I don't know. But just to be frank, I think Jackson Dart, even without Cam Scatterbo and Malik Neighbors, I think we should be able to beat this Commanders team because they look pretty defeated out there. So I'm going to say Giants win this game.
I am going with the G-men as well.
Libre, you copycat. I guess.
Yes.
Next, we have the Las Vegas Raiders at 2-11 on the road against the Eagles at 8-5. Just to keep it simple with you guys, Eagles are definitely going to take their frustrations out on the Raiders after embarrassingly losing that game against the Chargers. Whether it's Geno Smith or Kenny Pickett, although it will be kind of interesting if it's Pickett because Pickett was on that team last year. He was the backup to Jalen Hurts, and he won a ring with him. So I don't know. If I don't think Pickett makes the Raiders' chances anymore of winning, but I'm going to say Eagles on that game.
I agree. It's in Philly. It's going to be the Eagles.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Next, we have the Detroit Lions at 8-5 going on the road to face the Los Angeles Rams at 10-3. Now, I picked against Detroit last week, Libre, when they played the Cowboys, and I felt bad because they beat one of the
They
better offenses in
destroyed
the
them.
league. Yeah. So, but the Rams defense is not the Cowboys defense. They're going to play a whole lot tougher. And Matt Stafford always plays Detroit with his heart on his sleeve. So it's going to be a very hard fought game. But I think that the Rams win this game by like a field goal, maybe.
I agree with you with it as well. The Rammies.
So Devontae Adams has been playing fantastic football, by the way. He leads the league in receptions and touchdowns, I think.
Yeah.
Next, we have the Carolina Panthers at 7-6, coming off of their bye against the New Orleans Saints at 3-10. Another division game for the Saints, and I'm pretty sure that they're pretty emotional and riding on a high after beating Tampa Bay. But the Panthers are just kind of one of those roller coaster teams where one week they look like world beaters, and then the next week they look like the Panthers. So I don't know which version we're going to get. But coming off of a bye, I like to think that the Panthers are hungry and ready. So I'm going to say Carolina wins that game.
We're all in agreement. La Panteras.
By the way, quick side note: watching Kellen Moore run that Saints offense reminds me of why the Eagles should have paid him money to stay. Because for people wondering, Eagles fans especially, why the Eagles offense doesn't look anywhere like it did last year, that's because their offense went to New Orleans.
Yeah,
that's why that offense in Philadelphia sucks. And they took a gamble thinking that they could have somebody else run it similar or differently, and it has not paid off. Next, we have the Colts at 8-5 going on the road to face the Seahawks at 10-3. Quick and simple, guys. Phillip Rivers is not going to come in and save that franchise. I mean, when you talk desperation, just look up the Colts. And the fact that they gave up their next 2 first-round picks, which is why they're even doing this. Because if there was a trade deadline, they would have traded for Jameis Winston like the day before the day. So there's no other good quarterbacks available. They're trying to save whatever is left salvageable of their season. But the Seahawks, whether it's Phillip Rivers or that other rookie guy, sheesh, they're in for a rough time against that Seahawks defense. I'm going to say Seattle.
I'm going to go with the Hawks as well.
Next, we have the Tennessee Titans at 2-11 going on the road to face the San Francisco 49ers coming off of their bye at 9-4. Hey, congrats to Tennessee for winning their game last week, but they won by literal luck. They should have lost that game by all means, but Kevin Stefanski is an idiot, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that the Titans are going to be that lucky, especially against the 49ers, even though the Niners are beat up. But I don't see anybody from Tennessee, aside from Jeffrey Simmons, stopping Christian McCaffrey. So I'm going to say San Francisco wins that game, Libre.
The 49ers, the Niner gang. Bang, bang, Niner gang.
And then for Sunday Night Football, which is a game I'm surprised didn't get flexed, but we have the Minnesota Vikings at 5-8 going on the road against the Dallas Cowboys at 6-1. Now, the beating that the Vikings put on the Commanders made it really gave hope to Vikings fans, but I think it's a little bit too little too late. JJ McCarthy's going to have a little bit of a tougher time because that Cowboys defense, while it's not the greatest, it's still slightly better than what the Commanders were doing out there, which is saying a lot because Dan Quinn was running it. But the Cowboys offense, I mean, after that loss in Detroit at home, it's really hard to beat them at Jerry World. So I'm going to say, even although Mike Flores defense really showed out, but I don't think it's enough for them to beat the Cowboys. So I'm going to say Cowboys win that game.
I'm going to say Cowboys as well.
And waiting for
nothing for the chat, so that's a loss automatically.
Vikings? Ooh.
What? He's only doing it because of his wife. I'm just saying, Yes, tell Patty I said that if she's listening. I know she's listening.
Cowboys. Then we have the Monday night game, which is the Miami Dolphins at 6-7 going on the road to face the Pittsburgh Steelers at 7-6. Impressive win by the Steelers last week. The Dolphins beat up on I forgot who they played, but they beat up on them. But I think that the Steelers at home are tough to beat. Although the Dolphins are on a bit of a surge, depending on how Devon Achane is, because he's the one that's literally put the team on his back and made them kind of a surge. So I'm actually going to go out on the. Well, then again, Miami doesn't play really well in the cold. It's not freezing in Pittsburgh yet, but it's not as warm as Miami. So, but I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna say Miami wins that game.
That's my sleeper pick as well, is Miami.
And I apologize to my
And
sister,
so
who's
does
a
Chat.
Steelers fan, but those are just my picks. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for the Broncos overtime segment. We hope you do enjoy. We got a late comment in here saying, LFG boys, Broncos about to make a lot of people money being underdogs this week.
Let's go. Money, money.
I gotta read that over under book for dummies because I still don't know how that works. But thank you guys so much for joining us, for being here live in the chat. Before we head on out of here, we just want to ask you guys again, if you could please show your support for us here on the network and on the channel by subscribing, sharing, commenting, leaving your likes here on this video. If there's anything you heard me and Libre talk about that you agree or don't agree with, doesn't matter, please feel free to hit us up in the comment section and we will get back to you with our response ASAP. Your support is greatly appreciated. For those of you listening to us through audio form, doesn't matter what platform, 5-star reviews are always appreciated. If you'd like, you can screenshot that review, send it to us on our socials, at our Twitter handles there at the bottom. Mine is at a 6'10" Mexican. Bronco Libre is at Bronco Libre 5280. Shout out to W for being sponsor of this and all the shows here on the network. If you use the code OBN10, you'll get 10% off your order at checkout with all of your favorite W products. Again, that code is OBN10 for 10% off your order at checkout. Shout out once again to W for being sponsor of this and all the programs here on the Orange and Blue Network, and for the guys over at the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast for hooking you and me and Libre up with this amazing offer. Ladies and gentlemen,
look at
what?
Called it.
So much, son.
They called it. Thank you, Patty, for commenting.
I like this one better. Go Broncos.
There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for our show tonight. Please make sure you tune in on Friday for those of you being able to speak Spanish, or if you want to have your translator open the entire time for the Viva Los Broncos show with me and Bronco Libre on Friday at 7 o'clock Mountain Time. So we hope to see you then. We will be back next week to tell you guys all about the results and for Libre to tell us how the feeling at Bronco High, at Mile High was. Because we always love to hear his stories about, being there from the crack of dawn all the way to, I figure it takes Libre by like the time he gets to his house, it's already pitch black outside. So,
it gets dark here about 4:30 Mountain Standard Time, just because of the daylight savings. So yeah, guaranteed by the time the game ends, because it's a 2:25 start, it'll probably end about 5 o'clock. It's already dark at that point, and I'll be getting home right as soon as the Sunday night game is about to kick off, or just a little after, depending on how crazy and like how many people stay till the end of the game.
Agreed, my friend. With that being said, he's Bronco Libre. I'm Adan Diaz, and this has been Viva los Broncos.
What?
This has been Broncos Talk.
All right, somebody needs to get some sleep.
Bro, Johnny's going to fire me. This has been Broncos Talk / Viva los Broncos because we air on the same channel. Libre's mask throws me off. I blame Libre.
You can't see me.
Broncos Talk on the Orange and Blue Network. So with that, we say so long. Have a great night, day, evening, wherever it is you're watching us. And as always, go Broncos!
Go Broncos! Viva los Broncos! Ándale!
Let's go.